Welcome back to Scranton Running TV. The Scranton Running Company is the Scranton area's first specialty running store, catering to the shoe, apparel, nutrition, and accessory needs of not just runners, but also Northeastern PA's walking and fitness enthusiast community. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a specific category of shoe, the trail shoe. Matt Byrne is going to walk us through the pros, the cons, the benefits, the reasons why you would wear a trail shoe. And it's particularly relevant in the Northeastern PA area, given that we have a lot of trail shoe type terrain and the inclement weather is right just around the corner. So the NEPA cloud will be bringing rain and snow soon enough. So Matt's going to walk us through a few models and why he likes to use them.
First thing in a trail shoe you're going to find is that they're a little more rigid. I guess more than anything from our standard running shoes that you're used to every day, you're going to find a little more rigidity in a trail shoe. Maybe a lot of shoes are built a little bit lower to the ground. You want to have a little more versatility, lower to ground. Rigidness also allows you to kind of move with the terrain a little bit. If you compare it to a real soft shoe in a trail that would sink in, and if you hit a rock or something like that, you would maybe just collapse. Or being up high off the ground, like a platform type in a trail, where you have more tendency to roll over. Trail shoes kind of do the opposite thing. They kind of bring you a little bit lower to the ground, add some rigidity to the shoe so it responds a little bit quicker. And allows you, other than that, they still fit and feel like, your regular training, you're running your walking shoe.
And when you say lower to the ground, you mean that also probably protects your ankles too from when you would maybe step on a rock and roll?
Exactly right. Not only you have less distance to travel if you were to roll your ankle because they're slightly lower to the ground, but some shoes, see that catch?
That was good.
Are going to try to prevent you from rolling altogether. In this particular one I just grabbed, this pivot type technology, which the Brooks Cascade uses, it's going to allow you to kind of be a little more versatile, kind of from up and down. It won't allow you to kind of roll from either laterally or medially. It's going to keep you it's going to be able to rock with you a little bit. So there's some other technical features that some shoes will offer as well to kind of make sure you don't roll over or roll inward a little bit.
And with regard to weather, I mean, you're dealing with often muddy trails, rain, snow. Why do these shoes serve you better in an inclement weather type situation?
There's two approaches in a trail shoe, I guess. There's one approach where they can kind of coat the shoe with a water resistant or waterproof. You've seen Gore-Tex. Obviously, this is not a Gore-Tex shoe, but this does have some water resistant.
And that's the Brooks Adrenaline.
This is the Brooks Adrenaline ASR. Yeah. So this does have a repellent, water resistant type coating on it, which is going to keep the water out. Compared to the Cascadia, which allows water in and allows it to drain. So it's absolutely going to breathe a little better. It's probably a little cooler, and it just dissipates the water in a different manner. Both effective, just depending on what you need and how cold or warm it is.
Now, with a trail shoe, they're generally a bit heavier.
A little bit heavier, a little more denser material built into the shoe. That rigidity we talked about earlier usually is a little heavier, a little more carbon rubber usually built into the bottom of the shoe compared to the blown rubber, which we're going to find on some other standard running shoes. So it does get a little heavier. It's going to take a little bit more of a beating. Usually heavier, stiffer, means a little more durability.
Okay, but you've raced in these, right? And I know you're humble and shy about these things, but when you ran in the World Mountain Running Championships, did you run in an actual trail shoe or?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the terrain is always changing, and that's the first thing you want is something that's going to be, ready for that addresses the terrain change. So
keeping you on your feet.
Keeping you on your feet and being able to kind of jump from side to side. We're road racing. We're in one position, sometimes 20 miles straight. We really don't need the shoe to kind of be ready for changing terrain. That's what trail shoes do. They're kind of get you ready for side to side stuff and kind of handle an unexpected rock or whatnot.
So any of the other models that you want to point out, either men's or women's, from the Asics to the Saucony, do they have different features that you like, that you feel some do exceptional jobs at certain things?
Well, the manufacturers are pretty smart to kind of not get away from what's worked for them.
Yeah.
This is the same shape, built on the same glass as they call it, from their most popular model, the Brooks Adrenaline, their standard stability shoe. So I always liked the Adrenaline for years, so I knew I was going to fall right into this. So if you like that fit, you know, you're probably going to like the Adrenaline ASR. If you like the little soft, I mean, some trail shoes, like I said, aren't really stiff. This is one that's a little softer and can kind of go on or off the road. The Saucony Exodus is a little cushier than some other trail shoes. Maybe not as low to the ground as some of the others, but this one, a little more versatility.
A little more bang for your buck too, if you can wear it for the road and the trail.
Absolutely. Trail Attack, a little bit lighter, probably the lightest trail option we have right now. This is the women's version.
Yep.
Probably the lowest to the ground without getting into specific millimeters and whatnot. This one's probably the most aggressive trail shoe we have right now. You know, a little stiffer again, but you know, if you want something a little bit lighter, a little more aggressive, maybe even for racing, Trail Attack from Asics is a good option.
Now we take it very seriously here on what type of shoe you should be in and the proper shoe fit. Are trail shoes also broken out into neutral and stability categories? I'm sure each have certain characteristics towards a certain category.
Same idea. Your foot type is still your foot type, whether you know, we're on the road or on the trail. So you want to address that first and foremost, and they do. This Trail Attack happens to be a neutral shoe, which is made for somebody with a higher arch, neutral biomechanics. Whereas the ASR, the Adrenaline we talked about, has a little more built for somebody who has a little bit lower, medium, or lower arch and has a little bit of pronation issue. So yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get away from that aspect of the shoe at all. So.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thanks for spending time with us today. Hope you guys found that informative, and come down and try a few pairs on. Go out for a run on the trail behind our store at the Icebox Sports Complex. Hope to see you soon. Scranton Running Company, Scranton Running TV.